Since the introduction of social media, our perspective has shifted to accommodate the ever growing media platform. With social media becoming such a daily factor in many people's life, recent study has shown that the more we use social media, the risk of getting depression grows higher. Mostly, and not all of us, have incorporated the uses of social media into our daily lives, whether it be to text someone, looking at the latest news, or simply kill some time. Social media does more harm than good to society due to the fact of the many negative consequences it brings on its users, both mentally and physically, whether it be intentional or not. I can relate to this topic because I often use social media for 1 or almost or 2 hours every day, whether that be to scroll on Instagram or TikTok. I first researched how many predators use social media to prey on victims. Then I researched the mental impact it has on its users, and then why it is an addiction of its own right. First, I will describe how predators often use social media as a tool to prey on its victims by either catfishing or tricking them into a false sense of security. Second, I will examine how social media is the main cause of cyberbullying, which harms the mental health of its user. Third, I will discuss how social media is an addiction of its own right and how it could lead to other more dangerous and deadly addictions. Social media does more harm than good to society due to the fact of the many negative consequences it has on its users both mentally and physically, whether it is intentional or not. I will describe how predators often use social media as a tool to prey on victims by either catfishing or triggering them into a false sense of security. First, we will look at the amount of predators that have used or have access to social media. According to Children Crime Prevention and Safety Center, there are an estimated 500,000 online predators active each day. Children between the ages of 12 and 15 are especially susceptible to being groomed or manipulated by adults they meet online. To put into perspective how bad the situation is, the Bill Biden Foundation reported that 1 in every 5 children has reported that they've been in contact or solicited by a predator. Second, we will talk about some of the tactics that are used by predators when trying to manipulate a victim. Per Gross Who Find, the most common tactic a predator uses when attempting to contact the victim is creating a fake profile and then texting their would-be targets to build a connection and trust. Once 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 done, they will try to manipulate them by either tricking them into revealing personal information or by asking for sexual contact. Another tactic used by predators is to stalk the location of a victim due to them having access to their personal life and being able to see where they post themselves. We will talk about some of the arguments of how it is the parents' responsibility to monitor their child's social media. The blame should be on the social media company that actively allows easy easy access for many predators to use. There are so many loopholes that being banned does little to nothing since they can create a new account right away to reuse their tactics. Social media allows so many predators into their sites that it has caused many users not to feel entirely safe when using social media platforms. The predatory behavior has highlighted an extensive issue, cyberbullying. I will examine how social media is the main cause of cyberbullying in which it harms the mental health of its user. I will examine why social media platforms are the most common ground for cyberbullying. As stated by Delete cyberbullying happens for many of the same reasons as any other type of bullying, but it may be even more appealing because it can be done anonymously. Another report by Seoul Current News reports that false information and propaganda could easily spread on social media platforms, leading to misinformation and confusion. I'll explain now the negative impact that cyberbullying has on the mental well-being on its users. According to the National Institute of Health, the incidence of both cyberbullying and adolescent suicides are rising in the United States, with recent Centers for Disease Controls and Prevention data showing that 14.9% of adolescents have been cyberbullied and 13.6% of adolescents have made a serious suicide attempt due to this. According to StopBullying.gov, a child who is cyberbullied is likely to be bullied at school as well. Children who are bullied are more likely than their non-bully peers who miss, skip, or drop out of school. Those who stay in school are more likely to suffer academically with decreased grade point averages, standardized test scores, and class participation. And while their mental well-being is an all-time low. Cyberbullying is the leading cause of the negative impact on a user's mental health, while addiction to social media is the leading negative cause of a user's physical health. I will discuss now how social media is an addiction of its own right and how it could lead to other more dangerous addictions. I will first talk about how social media is an addiction. As explained by the Addiction Center, social media addiction is a behavioral addiction that is characterized as being overly concerned about social media, driven by uncontrollable urge to log on to or use social media, and devoting so much time and effort to social media that impairs other important life areas. Many many users will have the urge to constantly check and refresh their social even after being on it 5-10 minutes ago. I will talk about now how social media can lead to other dangerous addictions. According to Jefferson's Health, once the brain experiences these rush of dopamine and pleasure, the high from social media becomes harder and harder for anyone to resist, creating patterns of addictive behavior. As stated by Blue Crest Recovery Center, studies have revealed that the regular usage of social media increases feelings of loneliness and isolation. Both of these issues are known to contribute to depression and anxiety, both of which can lead to substance abuse problems. In this speech, the audience got to know that the harm that social media causes. The audience learned about how many predators use social media as a tool to manipulate young victims, the negative impact it has, and on users' mental health by cyberbullying, and how social media can develop into an addiction for many of the users. Social media does more harm than good to society due to the fact of many negatives of the many negative consequences it has on its users both mentally and physically, whether it is intentional or not. After hearing my speech, I hope that you, the audience, think and come to an agreement on how the negative impacts of social media outweigh the good. Thank you.